Hello to all you beautiful people out there. Regnilla over here bringing you the next episode of Monster Hunter Portable 3rd. In today's episode, we are taking a second look at the Rathian, this time in the low rank guild hall. So in this list of quests, you are going to find a couple of Rathian based quests. And the one that we're going to be doing today, and the one we're looking at, is the quest where we're going into the deserted island. So reel in a Rathian, that is the quest that we want. And so before you get started, you are going to want to have a thunder based weapon or an ice based weapon, preferably thunder, because if you've done the storyline at this point, or even if you haven't, odds are you're not going to have access to a dragon element weapon yet. So thunder is kind of the way to go at the moment. And another item that you are going to need is something to recover any sort of poisoning, since this monster can poison you with a flip of her tail. So the game is very generous in providing a couple of antidotes for you. However, I prefer herbal medicines. I find them far superior. They heal the poison, as well as they give you a little bit of extra health back. So, you know, super cool. It's just a damn shame that the item was heavily nerfed in more recent Monster Hunter games. Bring back old school herbal medicine. Hey, bring back old school max potions and ancient potions. But we're not here to talk about those sort of complaints. We are going to be complaining a little bit about Rathian though, because poisoning is irritating. And if there's one thing I always say about Rathian, is that you never ever want to trust a Rathian in flight for any reason. There are two scenarios where she is going to be in flight. Either she's going from area to area, or if she is in combat. If Rathian is in flight while in combat, you need to be on the lookout, because things are probably not going to go well. And that's also provided the fact that you can even find Rathian first, because as you can see, I'm just kind of running around trying to find out where this monster has disappeared to. So usually she spawns in area 8, and she has the option of going into a few areas. Most commonly, it's going to be either area 7 or area 5. So you can always check in area 8, but if she's not there, you can go back over to 7. If she's not in 7, then you have the ability to just quickly go into area 5. But once the Rathian is in combat, your main objective is to slap the face. So that's basically par for the course for most monsters in the series. Most of the time, their weak point is gonna be the face. However, that's not gonna be the case with every single one of them. But in this particular scenario, Rathian, slap the face. That's basically what you want. And so now that she's going into rage mode, she's going to fly backwards. And that's when you need to be super paranoid about basically anything she's about to do. A Rathian in flight can do a number of things. She can dive bomb you, she can hit you with a backflip, or she can get you with a pin attack. And if you are hit by the pin attack, then, well, she'll take several chunks out of your health, and it's just not fun. So whenever a Rathian goes into the air and you have some flash bombs on you, then you're going to want to take advantage of that. And of course, the best way to do that is whenever she's going to be flying back in rage mode, or she's going for her backflip. Those are the best times to use a flash bomb, as she's going to be either A, really predictable, or B, she's going to be in a scenario where she can't really move a whole lot to kind of reorient herself when she is about to go in for a second strike. So she flies back, she pauses for a moment, she does a backflip, then she's going to be in the air for a moment, and that gives you an opportunity to throw that flash bomb out and, well, knock her to the ground. So it's very, very helpful. But if a Rathian is ever in flight and holding still, there's a good chance she's going to do a sudden backflip that you're probably not going to be very prepared for if you're right underneath her. So, you know, that's kind of her trick. If she's flying in place, or she flies up to you and she's not going to do anything, there's a good chance there's a backflip coming in. So you're going to want to be on the lookout, and you're going to want to give her a wide berth either from the left or right hand side of where she is facing, because the backflip is pretty well telegraphed, as well as it has a very narrow hit range. So she will basically cover the entire front and back portions of her body. The sides, not so much. So either roll away, or if you are using a longsword, then you can do a fade slash to go either left or right, and it will cause you to avoid the attack. So, nice. Going into the breakable parts of a Rathian. So the face, number one thing that should be broken almost every single time that you fight this monster. If you're going for weak points, you're going for the head, that head is gonna break. And of course there are the two wingtips, and you can cut the tail off. Just because you cut the tail off does not negate her ability to poison you. She can still hit you with the stump, and that stump will still poison you. It's a very effective tail, and it's very venomous. So I believe that's the correct term. Poisonous is something different. That's if you consume the item instead of getting touched by the item. So, or whatever it is that is inflicting the poison. But in this case, Rathian's tail stump can still poison you. It's still very dangerous, and you don't want to get slapped by it. And I believe I just used poisonous again, even though it's technically venomous. Anyway, another effective item to use against this monster are, well, traps. So you can use your shock traps, or you can use your pitfall traps. I think the shock traps are going to be a little bit more effective against this monster, not necessarily in the long run, but in the more immediate of traps, as the pitfall trap takes some time to set up, which if that is the case, then the Rathian could come in and strike you. However, shock trap goes up nice and quick, and it's very satisfying to electrocute this monster. It sounds kind of morbid, but that's just kind of the way I like it with the Rathian. And of course, there goes her tail. So even though her range of damage has been neutered a little bit, she's still kind of dangerous as she goes into the air. So be on the lookout for that. But let's go into what you can get from this monster. So you get 3 body carbs from the Rathian. And the most common item that you're going to be able to get is the Rathian scale at 40%, followed by the Rathian shell at 30%, then a 15% chance for Rathian webbing, and then a flame sack at 10%, and then a Rathian spike at 5%. So that one's kind of a rare drop, but not the rarest for this monster at this level. Now you can, of course, wound the monster, and of course the head and wings that you're going to be after. Rathian shell is at 71% for the head, and then scale 25%, and then a Rathian plate, the rarest item, at 4%. And this is for the head wounds. You get both wings damage, and you can get Wyvern Claws at 15%, a Wrath Talon at 70%, and Rathian Webbing at 15%. And after cutting off the tail, you can carve it for a scale at 62%, weirdly specific, and then a Rathian spike at 20%, Wrath Marrow at 15%, and the ever rare Rathian plate at 3%. And if we go into shiny drops, which the Rathian will drop a shiny when she's either eating, or if you're able to knock her out of the sky with, say, a flash bomb. Wyvern Tear is at 74%, followed by a Rathian Scale at 15%, Rathian Spike comes at 10%, and a Rathian Plate comes at a 1%. But if you're also able to capture the monster, you can get a Scale at 33%, a Shell at 30%, a Wrath Marrow at 20%, a Rathian Spike at 15%, and a Rathian Plate at 2%. So that plate is quite rare. It's going to be a little bit difficult to grab it, but ideally speaking, you want to break that head, you want to cut off that tail, you want to collect just about any shiny that this monster drops, and you're going to want to capture her. So that would be your best bet at getting the plate for a solo Rathian hunt. When we get later on down the line, the odds get better, but in this case, that's what we're looking at. So that's going to do it for me and this video. Thank you all so much for watching. I have a Discord now. In case you are not aware, you can find a link to that Discord in the description down below for general updates, as well as to ask any questions in regards to games like Monster Hunter. And if you're interested in any of my other content, be sure to mash on one of the annotations that will be featured at the end of this video. But aside from that, I will see you all again next time. Take care, people.